Alrighty, you are live. Welcome to the show. My name is James McDonald, and welcome to the channel. So, if you are someone that wants to live a better life, you want to live in, more harmony, have more ease, then this is the channel for you. This is where we dive deep into the mechanics on what makes up you, your experiences, and why they may be good for you and why they may not be good for you, right? The good experiences and the bad. Okay, and this video, this live actually, and just comment in and let me know where you're tuning in from. Are you tuning in from Sydney, Australia, maybe Queensland, New Zealand, the US, the UK, wherever you are? Just let me know in the chat. I would love to see. And this live stream is all about clearing negative energy. Okay, it's about tapping into, well, one, what is negative energy? What is that even about? Right? Where does it come from? Okay. Number two, we're going to be diving into, I've got some notes here. We're going to be diving into why do some people experience it more than others? Okay. Why are some people a little bit more sensitive to, say, energy or frequencies than other people? Okay. And then number three, we're going to go into, say, a bit of traditional methods. Okay, traditional methods on clearing energy, clearing spaces, clearing your home, maybe things within you as well. Traditional methods, and then we're going to move into, say, a timeless perspective. We're going to go deep into the mechanics on a timeless perspective. Okay, and this is where I use abilities. So for those of you who are new to me, checking out the comments, we've got Colorado, yes. What's going on, Kyle? Sydney, beautiful, yes. Dina from Denmark, Hawaii, beautiful. Colorado, yes. Valdemar, lovely to see you as well. So thank you for that. Now, so we're going to be going into the depths of how to clear your space. Okay. And how do I know this? For some of you, you already know me. Some of you, you might be new. So basically, over the past 10 years, and this will be brief, over the past 10 years, I've been pretty obsessed with what I've been trying to, basically was starting out trying to figure out who's James about? Like, what am I about? And why are some people successful? Why aren't people successful? It led me down a plethora of mindset workshops, your Tony Robbins, your Joe Dispenza, countless of dollars invested into myself. And I stumbled across a bloke called Masati along my travels. And he opened up a doorway for me to really discover the truth on what makes us tick. Okay, and this is where now, over the past 5 years, by really harnessing myself and honing in on who I am and really taking on those principles and going to work on myself, I can basically see, say, the fabric of time behind this physical reality. Okay, so believe it or not, but we are timeless beings having a physical experience. Okay, and so that's what we tap into. We tap into, say, the unseen side of life, which actually breathes life into this physical density. Okay, so behind the scenes, which is not so much behind the scenes, is actually more real than this physical density, but that's for a later talk. But again, how I know this and why am I qualified? Because I work with it every day. I see it every day. I've moved through things myself. I used to be pretty sensitive, and some of you guys, if you want to just take a breath in, because we'll make this an experience, we'll make this a session for you guys, not just a talk. So just noticing where you are. And then just, again, scanning the group. So yes, we're going to follow these questions, but I'll also read you guys that are listening in and then kind of weave my way through it. So it's the most beneficial for you guys listening in as well. Okay. And if you're listening to the replay, it'll still be as potent for you. So stay until the end because we've got a guided meditation coming up at the end, a guided session, not just a meditation, a healing session. Okay. So taking a breath in and just noticing where you are. So we'll just jump into it. Hey, we'll jump into the first, say, like segment, which is, what is negative energy? Okay, what's negative energy? Really, it's just frequencies. Okay, negative energy, and comment in, say, examples of negative energy. For those of you listening in, Give me some examples of what you might perceive as negative energy, and then we'll create a little bit of a dialogue there. So negative energy, what is it about? Again, it's just frequencies, guys. Okay, believe it or not, but for a lot of people, and let's just talk about death. For some reason, death comes up, right? Some of you might see ghosts. You might feel death around you. You might feel family members around you. Okay, all that is, guys, beautiful people, again, family members or whoever it might be. But again, for most people, people don't really die properly. Okay. And I see this a lot, right? This is a very common thing. I see it a lot. A lot of people don't die properly. They don't cross over properly. So they hang out here. Okay, they hang out here and they attach to something that is more physical because they don't know how to cross over. So they go, well, shit, what's the brightest thing that I can latch onto to keep myself like sane? I need something. I don't know how to cross over. So I need something. So what do? They latch onto individuals, kids, again, mainly kids because kids are closer to that purity. So, again, it's like, oh, wow, look at this bright bean. Let's just latch onto that individual. And then that's why you have grandma's eyes. That's why you look like grandpa. That's why you have the same tendencies as your grandparents. Okay, the same hair, the same mannerisms. It's not because of genetics, even though it kind of is, but it goes beyond genetics. It's literally a consciousness, a frequency that is tapping into you, or at least, and that you are then referencing and then recreating. That's why. Okay, so pretty intense, but it's just no bullshit, guys. It's very real. Okay, I was with some lovely, beautiful individuals the other night, and again, very common to have this happen. Okay, so that can be and not say negative, but it's a frequency. You don't want you just don't want anyone in your space, basically. Really, you can hang out with people, but we'll get to that later. But you don't want again dead people hanging out with you, and they don't want to be there either. All right, deep down, everyone, when we die, we want to cross over. Okay, whether you believe in the afterlife or whatever, it's just going back to like source, right? If you want to call it heaven, if you want to call it whatever you want to call it, you can call it whatever you want to call it. Again, it's basically just the source of where we create ourselves from. Okay, let's go into the next one. Okay, negative energy. If people blame you, there you go. Okay, cool. Negative energy feels disruptive and disturbing. Yes, sometimes heavy, oppressive. Yes, most news is negative these days. Absolutely. All right, love it. So let's talk about that negative energy, right? If people blame you, and people bad vibes, right? Who's ever met someone and you're like, damn, they got funky vibes. I don't know what it is, but they got funky vibes. Comment if you've ever seen that or felt that. Okay, and this is going to be, I'll just say it. Yeah, it could be them. Okay, it could be those individuals, right? Negative energy or energy that feels funky. And don't get me wrong, 100%. Most people are carrying and say projecting distorted frequencies, right, into say this. They're creating themselves from those distorted frequencies. So again, remember, we are not as physical as you might think. Okay, there's more going on behind the scenes that creates this physicalness. Okay, and I see it. I see it in people, right? I see it in the world. And again, that's what I do working with clients is I help people reconnect back to their purity. Okay, I just help them reconnect back to who they naturally are and they start to self-heal. So, but again, it's frequencies that then create, say, that vibe or the physical element here. Okay, it's being produced behind the scenes. So absolutely. Again, it is a frequency. Now, again, so it's being produced from from eons, really from the dawn of time. We haven't done the very best thing as a society. Abuse patterns or say murderous patterns. Again, a lot of murder, a lot of rape, a lot of just disgusting things that we've done in the world. You know, all those horrible things that I won't go into. But again, we're all a part of that consciousness, guys. We all came from that consciousness. We all contributed to it. As weird as that sounds, we're all human. Yeah. So at some level, we are a part of that consciousness that created poverty, that has created all of this fucking bullshit in the world. That, you know, there's a lot of good, but most of it not the best in the world. We were a part of that. Okay. So again, a part of that consciousness that then created this physical density. Okay, so we've kind of got to take responsibility of it. And hopefully you guys can hear me okay. My mic is down there, so it looks like you guys are hearing me okay. So where am I going with this? So all of that trash, and many of you have experienced it when you go through the process, the timeless process, you start awakening to those things. You actually start seeing those negative vibes around not only you, but then other people. Who's experienced that before? You know, you might have, you start feeling and sensing things as you go through the program because, well, you're waking up to it. It's always been there. That this stuff has always been there. And this ties me into that next question on, well, why do some people experience it more than others? Okay, why do some people seem blunt to it? Why are some people more intuitive? Yeah, well, everyone has their unique abilities, and just taking a breath in, noticing what you're sitting on, noticing what's around you. So some people, again, they move in and out of realities really well. Okay, again, we're not as physical as you might think. I know I keep saying that, but again, I just want to hammer it home. We are not as physical as you might think. Okay, so we move in and out of like time and space, right? We're very malleable. We can live in the past, right? We can hold on to grudges. We can hold on to traumas. We hold on to things that happened to us when we were kids, and we carry them forward into when we're adults. So we recreate those patterns when we're 30, 40, 50, you know, from what happened to us at say 5, right? Okay. So where was I? So, you know, what do? We, you know, there are some people that move in and out of, again, realities, right? Or you go into the future, or you take a step out of yourself and you become the observer, right? Again, beautiful abilities can be made from this, and maybe some of you guys have experienced this, where you become more detached from your body and you become a phenomenal reader of people. All right, some of you, even prior to working with me, you could just like that, call bullshit, right? You knew who wasn't a very, say, didn't have nice vibes. They might be a lovely person, but their vibes were off. And some others, you know, and you were drawn to, say, more safer, say, environments. Or for some of you, from what I'm seeing, you just totally went rogue. And when I say went rogue, let's not say went rogue, you became a hermit. I don't know who it is in the group, but from what I'm picking up, again, something has happened to this individual at a very young age and gone, well, you know what? People are fucked up. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm just not going to get involved. Okay, even though mentally you might want to. Right? Comment in if that was you. All right, maybe it was you in the past, but someone out there, again, someone on the call, hence why I'm probably picking it up. Again, you might want to socialize, but for whatever reason, you might not feel connected to people, or you always find yourself isolated. Okay, it has nothing to do with what you want mentally, or say even your emotions. It has things. It has exactly. It has to do with your coding and how the frequencies that you're generating that then create this physical reality that send out into this that you're rendering yourself with here. Yes, I think me. There you go. Okay, so it again, it's all to do with where are you rendering yourself from. And if this doesn't make sense, don't worry. Deep down, you all do understand this. Maybe not at a conscious level, but deep down in, say, your soul, if you want to call it, your essence, your truth, you understand it. So give the video a like as well if you're enjoying it so far. And yeah, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, go for it. Right, goes a long way. So, and because I do these every week. So, where are we? Next one. So again, right abilities. We move in and out. Okay, and then for some people, they just totally shut themselves off. Okay, or as say a coping mechanism. Right, and this is where you get people that are just emotionally, you're like, how does this person like not see me? You know, how does this person not get what's going on? Okay, again, their programming is just way off. Okay, it's just way off. Right, everyone can feel vibes. Right, everyone. At some level, again, depending on how clean you are, or say how much you've cleaned up, and maybe you're not. And it doesn't actually have anything to do with how like clean you are, because you can be distorted. You know, say you can be pretty off, and still say sense a bit. You know, sense people's vibes. Right? It's a great ability, but we want to say come into the moment more. We want to synchronize with time, so we can maximize that ability whilst also feeling at home here now. Okay, because God, that we're meant to be here. Like we are meant to be in this physical world. A lot of spiritual individuals, and that's why I don't really consider. Oh, maybe I do. I'm pretty damn spiritual, but not in like the traditional sense. And again, great little segue, and I love how that happens. Great little segue into the next, say, topic of uh, of and again, this is a big topic, right? So I could go further into it, but just because we're pressed for time, I'll go into the next topic, which is all about methods of clearing. Okay, and I'll get to that, but let's just wind it back. So frequencies, again, you might experience ghosts, if you want to call them demons, if you want to call them, again, just entities or bad vibes, whatever it is. It's literally other say it's frequencies. It's just frequencies. Okay, not like binaural beats frequencies and things like that. It's like, and this might not make sense, but the way that I'm seeing it, it's like things are etched in time, right? You can even have, and it sounds kind of funky, right? But you can actually have like wormholes in this fabric of time. Okay, kind of like Stranger Things, where there's like a wormhole into the upside down world. And I've seen it in places, overseas. I've seen it in homes where there's literally like tears in like, yeah, there's like tears in the fabric of time, and then it creates like this whirlpool, and then people kind of get sucked in, not like people get sucked into it, but it just it you know it doesn't feel very nice. You could build like a beautiful home there. It probably wouldn't happen. Okay, right? It probably wouldn't happen because again, behind the scenes, there's a tear in the fabric of time. But let's just say a beautiful home was built there. It wouldn't feel good. It'd just feel rotten. After a certain amount of time, it wouldn't feel very good, and things would like start breaking. Because again, behind the scenes, it's like crumbling, being pulled into like this abyss. Okay, does that kind of make sense? Anyway, I've seen it around. And then you have, say, environments that are really clean, really pure, and really like, again, nature, right? Nature is, and there's beautiful places around the world that have really pristine, say, energy, and that say consciousness, frequency. Especially now, there's again, from what I'm kind of seeing, there's actually key spots around the world that are just like praying, basically. They're like, hey, like clean me up. I see like 7 or 8. 7, 8, 9, like really big. 7, 8, 9. Again, I could be way off, but like 7, 8, 9. Yeah, like 9. Yeah, like 9. Really, like if you want to call them portals, but it's like a gateway. It's like a gateway to so allowing the new consciousness that's here to really like wash over, like just to say create here. So taking another breath in, yeah, it's literally like to me it looks like a gate, and then as that gate opens more, it just pierces through. this entire, like, I mean, for the Earth, but then also for like the universe. So yeah, it's like there's specific spots in the world that are primed. They're ready to go. So I don't know if anyone has any like knowledge on that, but let me know. Send me an email if you. Yeah, I wouldn't say not like chakras. It doesn't feel like. Yeah, no, not like a chakra. It's more. It's literally like a gate. You know, or it's like a feel to me. That's kind of what it looks like. Yeah, like it's like a. How else would you put it? Yeah, or like, let's just say you had a pool of water and it was really dirty. There'd be like 9 really clean spots of water, or 9 spots in that say plane of water that would be like cleaning. It'd be noticeably cleaner in say 9 spots. That's kind of what it looks like to me. So anyway, that's another topic. Let's continue on. So, right, spirituality, traditional forms of clearing energy, negative energy, and comment in the comment some methods of clearing. I'd love to see. I've got a few that I've experienced that I used to do. Oh, I just tapped on the mic. Forms of methods of clearing that I used to do, that I've done before. I'd love to see what you guys have done. Could be very similar. Okay, and before we get into it, I just want to make a point. It's not about the thing. I mean, sometimes it is because of how many people use it, but it's the best way, and we'll just get to that, and then we'll go into traditional forms of clearing energy. The best form of cleaning energy in your home, of frequencies, vibes around you, because again, you are creating your reality, right? So you're attracting those environments that don't feel very good. That's basically it, right? You're rendering everything. So whatever you're experiencing, you've got to look at yourself in the mirror and go, damn, how did I create that? What's in me that's creating that? What complementary pattern in me is leading to these experiences where I'm feeling all over the place? I'm feeling these energetic vibes. Okay. So Sage, Palo Santo, words, commands with intention. Yes, there you go. Perfect. Awesome. Yeah. So I added in prayer. Okay. There was a very small moment in my life where I used prayer. But most of it was Sage, Palo Santo, yeah, and words of intent, yes, absolutely. So again, just because something has been used for a really long time doesn't necessarily mean it's practical. Okay, because and I'm not against any of this sort of stuff. We just got to think a little deeper, okay? Because you see, it's like, oh, well, what did our ancestors do? And it's like they did a lot of great things, 100%, absolutely. They were a lot healthier than us, that's for sure. I mean, if you look at indigenous tribes here in Australia, the dentures, their teeth, and just their physiques, immaculate. Just immaculate. But some say rituals perhaps might not be as say pure as we might like to think. Some yes, some maybe not. Okay, because again, if you just because something is ancient doesn't mean it's necessarily great for us, and just because something's new doesn't maybe it doesn't mean that it's also great as well. Okay, and this goes for science as well, right? Science it becomes outdated after a decade, 5 years, right? I remember, in 2015, a friend of mine had a gut microbiologist come in. He interviewed him. It's like mad scientist. He was mad about guts and the gut microbiome, and would study feces, and he was an older fellow, like in his 60s, 70s, and he told my friend, because I was there, when I was living with him at the time, and he was like, the things that we discover and the research that we like, the things that we discover on, like, they become outdated the following day, or like in 2 weeks, around the gut. So like the theory and say those things that they're discovering and they're piecing together, say science, it becomes outdated within a very, very short amount of time. This was back in 2015 in regards to the gut. Yeah, the gut and the brain connection, gut-brain connection. In 2 weeks, it's outdated, right? I was chatting with a friend. It's like the food pyramid. The food pyramid was updated very late here in Australia, very late. Yeah, and that was the standard for health, right? So all I'm saying is just have a think, be mindful, okay, about certain practices, because for a lot, I'm not saying it's all people, but the reason why my ex and I, we used to have a bit of a laugh about this. I was uh, she would love sage, and now and you go through, and I'll talk about the phases, okay? Because some of you, again, you're at a certain phase, you're going through the programs, and you move through certain levels, okay? It just is what it is. It's like graduation. You go from year 1 to year 2, year 3. Like going to the gym, you learn your form, your technique, and then you stack on weight, and you get stronger. Okay, it's the same thing here with your timeless self and how in sync you are with time. Okay, when you initially start out, and I'm going to get to it, guys. When you initially start out, you start seeing all of your stuff, right? And it's a lot smoother these days. But you then also start seeing the frequencies that other people are creating. Okay, and then behind how what people are doing behind the scenes, even though it might seem and sound really nice. I've had these experiences where, again, people mean the best, and then behind the scenes, I'm seeing the frequencies that they're calling forth, and it's not very pretty. Again, like calling ancestors, and again, some people, it's just the way that some people are doing it. Calling forward ancestors. Whatever it might be. Like things like Day of the Dead. All of those things, guys. You just don't want to do it because you're literally calling forth the dead to hang out with you. And most people aren't awakened to a point where they can help those individuals cross over. And you wouldn't want to just do that intentionally anyway. It's more of an organic thing that just and it happens with me. It just naturally happens now. People just kind of show up and then they cross over with the abilities that I've cultivated, which everyone has access to, by the way. Everyone has the potential to access and refine their own abilities. Okay, it's not just me. So, and others in the world. But again, think about it. Calling forth the dead, right? Praying for the dead or whatever it might be. It's literally like hanging out with a corpse next to you. Okay. You just don't want to do it, guys. You really don't want to do it. And that's what brings me to, say, sage and Palo Santo and things like that. Because a lot of people, again, we say like sage. Again, how many people use sage? Okay, now I'm not trying to like freak you out or anything, but there's a lot of people that use sage. Okay, there's a lot of energy and say a lot of consciousness behind sage. Okay, and it's the intent and say where again, some people are different than others. right? But it's again, it's not the tool, and I'll get into say how you could use sage and Palo Santo and words of intent, say a pure way, or I say it from a timeless perspective. And actually its true form. Again, not just say calling forth stuff. Okay, because again, you're just how many ancients use sage, right? But you could do it in a way where you use sage, where again you purify, say, the history of sage within, in say the ritual that you use. So, say if you're using a certain ritual with Palo Santo or sage or whatever, like smoking ceremonies, if you are resonating, or if you're in a certain position in time and space that is of a grand consciousness, right? Or you again you've say separated yourself from all the stuff that people carry, the bullshit that people carry. Just no offense, but I'll just say it how it is, because again, it just is. You would then say bring out the truth of say smoking ceremonies, and it would be incredibly awakening for individuals. The same with like sage, right? It's not necessarily the thing, the method. It's more of where are you positioned in time and space? Are you more in sync with time, or are you a little bit displaced? The more in sync you are with time, again, you naturally clean up your environment. You naturally do it. And that's exactly what we do during the programs, okay, and in sessions. That's what I help you do. I help you clean up yourself, and then you have to start cleaning up your own space. So the best way to actually clear negative energy is by clearing your own, say, frequencies, if you want to call it that. You want to clean up, say, the intergenerational bullshit within yourself. Okay, and then by osmosis, your environment will start to shift dramatically. And that's what a lot of you guys have experienced, right? You might even leave somewhere and go, damn, and then you clean so much up, you come back to somewhere and it doesn't affect you anymore. So, right? Because again, you have shifted, you have changed, so then your environment has caught up with you, or you just move. Okay. So, and this is where you become the boundary. Okay, this is where you become the boundary. I have friends that say, "Oh my gosh, like, isn't this draining? Doing sessions and this and that." I'm like, nope. It's actually the opposite. It's actually the opposite. It's a win-win. The other day, I actually had a huge upgrade, and some of you guys are on the program. Comment in if you felt it. It was actually the morning session that was we went over like 20 minutes. It was like a 50-minute session, but I ended up just sleeping afterwards, because again, I had to. Sleep is and maybe I'll do another topic on that. But sleep is one of the most efficient ways to say recalibrate. Just like a computer, if you've installed a program, you shut down the computer, reset it, and then the program's good to go when you turn back on your computer. We're pretty much the same. Yes. Okay. There you go. Yeah. So again, I had an upgrade on that, on a session, and it's because I'm doing it the right way. It's just as simple as that. Okay. People that get drained during sessions, again, wonderful abilities, but they could do it a better way. Okay. And maybe they didn't know. A lot of, some people don't know. That's cool. But you can actually say, elevate as well. And again, and this is another topic. So I'm kind of going off tangent here, a little bit off. I don't know why I'm talking about it, but we'll close it. We'll close it off. I'll talk about it a little bit. We'll close it off, and we'll get into a session to help you again, say, come into yourself, so you can clean the space within you, and then clean, which will then in turn help you clean out your space. So, you know what? We're gonna leave that topic out there. I'm working on my. We're just going to leave that. We're going to leave that other topic on, say, other healers, or say, healing and how to heal, and say burdens of healing. versus, you know, true healing. Well, not necessarily, a more efficient way of say healing. We're going to leave that topic, okay? Because we could be here for hours, okay? I was invited to a weekly sweat lodge, but not feeling it, scared of results. Okay, there we go. Yeah. So let's just talk about that. Not that specifically, but you kind of brought me back to a point. Again, you say you start awakening, and I'll just as a reminder, you start going through the process, right? You awaken, you see frequencies, you feel it, you sense it, you go, damn, that's gnarly. You have emotions potentially coming up to be cleared. You start seeing other people's vibes. So you start seeing, okay, they are there, I am here, right? And this is something you can do today. This is a method of, say, staying stable. Note where the other person is over there, or the building, or whatever it might be. They are there, and then you are here, your body is here. Okay, so before we go into the session, that is just a practical thing. Boom, they're over there, I am here. Okay, for those of you who know spatial referencing, it's a form of spatial referencing. They're over there, I'm here. Okay. And then after a while, once you strengthen, you just won't, you eventually, you don't attract those vibes, right? You get drawn to, say, you get drawn to environments that are beneficial for you. Okay. And then as you continue on, and this is what happened to me, and again, and this is how I knew my abilities were coming online, was I started cleaning out people that I came in contact with. Not everyone, but I would feel things, right? It would come into my space, and then it would piss off, right? It literally, like a consciousness, like a frequency, you would sense it. It's like, oh, damn, what the hell is going on? God, I just want to, like, I would walk down a street, and it would, I'm sure it's happened to some of you. I've been walking down a street, and I've literally felt like this wave of something go through me. Okay, and I've gone, whoa, that was, you know, and then literally 10, 15 minutes later, I've gone to an event, and then I've met this bloke that had some funky vibes. Lovely guy, just some funky vibes, funky frequencies, right? So again, I picked up those frequencies before I even met the guy, before I even saw the guy. Okay, I've moved through, and I'm just sharing this because some of you will go through this. Some of you might have even experienced it. You're not crazy. Okay, this is very real. Okay, it is very real. Okay, people who think this is wacky and full of shit and just, you know, wacky people experience it. It's whatever, but it's real. Okay, I've walked through homes and unit apartments that literally felt like like I was going through these ripples, and it just felt horrible. These apartment buildings felt fucking horrible, absolutely horrible. And then eventually you get to a point where, like me, where you just organically dominate your space. You dominate your space so much that the environment that you're in has to elevate towards you. Not necessarily towards you, but toward their best. And by moving towards their best, whether it's individuals or the space, and I'll just, I had an event today, and, as the day went on, we had groups coming in. And as the groups came in, the speakers, I noticed it throughout the day, the speakers got more comfortable. The groups that came in, obviously they were a little different, but there was more like lightness in the air, and people felt really good. Okay. So it's yeah. So people just like hanging out with me. Okay. So that's where you get to where you start literally, your environment supports the patterns that you are operating from. That's a good one, so I will say it again. Your environment is created from the patterns that you are operating from. I'm going to say it one more time because I would like to get a quote. I'd like to get a quote. Quote from James. No, your environment is created as a result of the patterns you're operating from. Okay? And then to go even a step further on that, your perception of your environment is created from the patterns that you're operating out of. Right? So you might have a lovely environment, but if you're operating from a pattern of, oh, I need to be fighting all the time, or I'm in survival mode, well then guess what? That lovely environment is not going to feel, it's going to feel like it's suffocating you, because you are operating from a pattern of things needing to be fought for. Does that make sense? So in every situation that you don't like, or whatever it might be, it's like, okay, what is it in me that is complementing this situation, that is contributing to this situation? What do I need to release so I can be more at ease with this situation? Or what can I say, who do I need to become to attract more of X, Y, and Z? And do timeless. Jump into the programs. Do it. You know, if you're struggling, or if you're not getting it, okay, because you will get it eventually. You get it. All right, guys. Does that make sense? Is that all good? Are we all enjoying it? If you made it this far, give the like button a hit. And again, if you're watching the replay, or if you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel, and then we're going to get into a guided session. So now I'll get into the questions at the end if we have time, but again, just limited with time. So let's just get into this timeless session. Okay, so it's a healing and meditation in one. All right, so just taking that breath in, noticing where you are, looking around if you want, looking around, looking at the walls, looking at the patterns of the walls, looking at the bookshelf, the windowsill, whatever it might be, just noticing those finer details in your environment. Noticing your breath as you inhale through the nose for 4 seconds or so as a guide, and then exhaling throughout the mouth longer than the inhale. So if you inhale for 4, exhale for minimum 5 seconds. And then you can kind of forget about it a little bit, as long as you are maintaining that similar pattern of breathing. So noticing your breath, noticing what you can remember in the room around you, noticing what you can hear, the sound of my voice, sound of anything else on your side, maybe hearing cars on my side. A lot of you getting it, which is fantastic, which is really fantastic. Really hit home for you. Again, so many people in the world, guys, blame right? They blame the government, they blame, their parents, they blame their kids, they blame society, they blame all of these things. So it's not going to help you. I mean, if it hasn't helped you, it's just not going to help you. You've got to look deeper, which is what I'll help you do now as you take that breath in, noticing what you can smell. We've got to look deeper. We've got to ask ourselves, well, shit, how did I contribute to that, to creating that situation? What was it in me that led to that? What do I need to adjust so that doesn't happen again? And again, it's not a mental thing. It's a question that you ask, and your timeless intelligence goes to work to support you in resolving it. Like AI. It's literally like AI, guys. But even better. It's way better. AI is messy. This is timeless. It's your timeless self. It's always been around, just waiting to be awakened and to be fine-tuned so it can be used properly and even evolve so you can live your best life. It's what this is all about. How can you master yourself so you can master your life? As you take another breath in, noticing what you can taste. Many of you starting to feel those things around you, perhaps. As you go into deeper layers of refinement, it's kind of like cleaning. As you clean the house or washing your car or whatever it might be, it starts out, oh, clean this. And then as you start cleaning, you clean more and more and more, and the dirt and the grime and all that stuff, the minuscule stuff starts to shine through. It becomes even more obvious to you as you further, the cleaning process in your home, your car, whatever it might be. It's the same thing here. You start cleaning up and you go, damn, there's even more. Oh, let's tidy this, let's tidy this, let's refine myself even more so I can reflect that brilliance that I am, so I can maintain that brilliance that I am and go even further than what I've known. So taking that breath in again, noticing what you can feel, touch, temperature of the room on your skin, clothes on your skin. As we go into silence, all you need to do is notice your 5 senses and then what's supporting you, the chair, the floor, a sofa, a bed. Noticing your breath. Noticing your environment around you. Say the air, the humidity. And this goes beyond meditation. It's a healing. Helping you heal yourself, nurture yourself, self-actualize yourself. As you ask yourself that question, how can I connect to my timeless self even more, my timeless purity even more? As you notice the air around you, and then the air touching your body. There we go. Quite a lot of you releasing a lot of stuff that has been hidden, and now you're seeing it, letting it go. All you need to do is notice what you're noticing. You don't need to attach to it. You don't need to say, oh, will I ever be fixed? You're already fixed. You're already whole. There's just stuff in the way. Just accessing that wholeness within you. So taking that breath in through the nose, again noticing your environment, perhaps scanning in your mind's eye your room around you. Kind of like a 3D printer. It's like but the reverse. It's scanning around you, and then you're noticing you in your environment. Noticing your breath. Noticing how you might be feeling as again you sense the environment around you, clothes on your skin, and then noticing your physical form. There we go. Many of you starting to see perhaps the untruths or the lies, the secrets that you've been telling yourself, the lies you've been telling yourself, or the secrets that have been kept from you. So well done. Good on you for being honest with yourself. It's a wonderful opportunity to go do something about it. For now, just stay here, noticing the floor, your room, the air around you. Is it cool? Is it hot? Warm? Your clothes? And then the air, your clothes touching your skin. And that point of difference. Environment, point of difference, your body. As you notice your body, head to toe, toe to head, side to side, in and out. Noticing your breath. Noticing what's supporting you, the chair, sofa, whatever it might be. Noticing your breath. Noticing your breath. As you note your environment, noticing what you can hear around you. Noticing what you can smell, taste, touch. Again, noticing your environment, what you can hear, smell, taste, touch. For those of you that can stay here, I highly recommend it. I'm going to stay here for a little longer and then log off. But I highly recommend you staying in this space. And then when you decide to open your eyes, look at something unmoving like the wall and then your body. And give yourself time to be with yourself. Okay, you can still, enter the world or whatever, but give yourself 10, 15 minutes just to be, just to like cruise through in this space. And in your own time, leave a comment on how you felt, how that was for you. Again, in your own time. And if you did enjoy it, let me know. So I'll leave you guys here. Sorry I couldn't answer the questions. I'll keep it brief. Frequencies are everywhere. Negative, positive, whatever you want to call them, they're everywhere. The key is, what are you doing to dominate your space so those good frequencies, bad frequencies don't impact you. You stay rock solid in your world, in your resonance. What are you doing to ensure that? And if you don't know what you should be doing, join the program. become timeless. Because you already are. All right, guys, I'll leave you there. Great call. And I'll see you guys next week. Oh, and if you're in Sydney, come on down to Maroubra. There's still spots available. So if you'd like in-person sessions, come on down tomorrow evening. There's geez, I'm not too sure where the link is, but send me an email or leave a comment asking for the details for the Sydney event, and I'll send them over to you immediately. No worries, guys. All right, much love. Peace. Great job.